All right, today we are going to break down the single most important recipe on the entire planet. And nope, it's not for some fancy dinner. It's the recipe that literally powers all life on Earth. So what exactly is cooking? I mean, think about it for a second. Have you ever really wondered how plants eat? They don't have mouths, right? They don't go to the grocery store. So how in the world do they survive and get so big? Well, the answer is this incredible process that's happening all around us every single day. And that process is called photosynthesis. It's a big word, but the idea is pretty simple. It's just how green plants use sunlight, water, and the air we all breathe out to make their very own food. So let's break down this amazing recipe, step by step. Okay, so like any great recipe, this one starts with a few key ingredients. But instead of, flour and sugar, plants pull their ingredients straight from the world around them. Let's take a look at what's on the list. So the ingredients themselves are actually pretty simple. First up, you've got sunlight. That provides all the energy. Think of it like the heat from your oven. Next, the plant grabs carbon dioxide, or CO2, right out of the air. It also needs water, H2O, which it soaks up from the soil through its roots. And the master chef in all of this? That's a special green stuff in the leaves called chlorophyll. It's the pigment that soaks up all that sunlight and really gets the whole process started. So, we've got our ingredients. But where does all the magic happen? Well, the cooking, so to speak, takes place inside the plant's leaves. You can think of them as millions of tiny, bustling little chemical kitchens. In its simplest form, here's the recipe in words. You take carbon dioxide from the air and you add water from the soil. Then, using that energy from the sun that was captured by the chlorophyll, the plant works its magic and transforms them into two totally new things, glucose and oxygen. Now, if you want to get all scientific about it, here is the precise version of that same recipe. A chemist would write it just like this: 6 molecules of carbon dioxide plus 6 molecules of water with a little energy from the sun get transformed into 1 molecule of glucose, that's the C6H12O6, and 6 molecules of pure oxygen. All right, the cooking is done. The ingredients have all been mixed and transformed inside the leaf's kitchen. So what did the plant just serve up? What's actually on the menu? It turns out there are two incredible products. First is glucose. Now this is an energy-rich sugar, and it's the actual food for the plant. It's what fuels all of its growth, everything it does. But then there's the byproduct, oxygen. The plant doesn't need it, so it just releases this gas into the air. And it just so happens to be the very gas that you, me, and most living things on this planet absolutely need to breathe to survive. And this right here brings us to the biggest question of all. Why does this one plant recipe matter so much? I mean, this isn't just about keeping plants fed. This is the fundamental process that makes our entire world possible. Think about it. Photosynthesis is the foundation of pretty much every food chain. From the tiniest bug to the biggest lion, if you trace the energy back far enough, it almost always starts with a plant. This process also produces the very oxygen we are breathing right now, and at the same time, it cleans the air by pulling out carbon dioxide. So basically, plants make their own food, and by doing that, they make food and breathable air for, well, everyone else. Just let that sink in for a second. Without this one single elegant process happening in the leaves of plants all over the globe, there would be no complex life on Earth. It is as simple and as profound as that. And you know what's really cool? You can actually see the proof for yourself. There's a super simple experiment where if you add a drop of iodine to a leaf that's been sitting in the sun, it'll turn this dark blue-black color. That color change is a positive test for starch, which is just how plants store all that glucose they create. You're literally seeing the food that the plant made with your own eyes. So we'll leave you with this final thought. We've just talked about how plants are basically tiny factories, creating the food that feeds the world and the air that we all breathe. So the real question becomes, if plants are responsible for all of that, what happens when we start to lose them?